Also on that point, at grassroots level here in Ireland, the Ireland-Palestine Solidarity Campaign has been obviously at the forefront of the media campaign behind this, but we have also been at the forefront of the boycott campaign, the Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions campaign. That has already stepped up a gear with other organisations like ICTU and various other unions. Unite just today have passed a boycott motion. Political parties coming out and making strong statements. The boycott campaign can only grow from here. It worked with South Africa. We're dealing with apartheid here. This is certainly a campaign that will step up a gear. If the flotilla, if the next flotilla or the MV Rachel Corrie is intercepted, if anything remotely akin to what has happened with this flotilla happens there, the media campaign will go into full throttle. We're working closely with the Department of Foreign Affairs to get the information coming through all the time. But I can certainly tell you at grassroots level here, the Ireland-Palestine Solidarity Campaign will not rest until that aid gets into Gaza.
Shane, up to the past days, what's up there? Is there any ideas how you want to recover people?
Nice point again. Now, hopefully, yeah. No, it was tough on me, and it was. I mean, when we found out about the death, that was very demoralising and very upsetting for a lot of us in the cells in Ben Gurion. But we're showing solidarity with the Palestinian people, and I just only hope that more people in this country and across the world will stand up and make their name heard and stand up and just bring it all together, and that will make it easier for anyone that was out there. Luckily I wasn't hurt, and really, I mean, a couple of scratches, but I was one of the lucky ones. I'm one of the survivors. And as I said last night when I arrived into Dublin, you know, my heart goes out to the mothers, the fathers, the brothers, the sisters, the nephews, the nieces of the people that were killed, you know. It was a terrible act, an inhumane act on humane people. I mean, it was a disgraceful, despicable act against the humanitarian aid group going to Palestine to relieve what is a disgraceful situation in Palestine. And the Israeli government show no remorse for the actions that they carried out, and I just hope that the world can stand up against this small nation and advise them that we are strong and we can make sanctions happen.
At this point, I might just ask Mark maybe just to comment a little bit on the meeting that Shane and Mark had with Minister Micheál Martin just before this press conference.
I'd like to welcome Shane home. He's extremely lucky, and his family are lucky to have him back. And Micheál Martin was anxious to meet Shane before, as soon as we came back. So myself and Shane met him up in his office, and the Minister was anxious to get a first-hand account of what had happened, and Shane explained pretty much as we've heard it here. The Minister had a number of questions for him, and of course the Minister said, as Chris has said, that this is an ongoing situation, and obviously all eyes now are on the Rachel Corrie and the 5 Irish people on board that, the Malaysians and the Filipinos and all 15 crew members. And as Chris has said, that, you know, a lot will depend on the Israeli reaction to that ship and how they treat that ship as it enters or as it heads towards Gaza.
Do you know where the other Irish people were taken off the flotilla?
Well, we had an update from the Department of Foreign Affairs through Jim Lane, who's Fintan Lane's father, in the last kind of 2.5 hours. It's a rather confusing update. When I spoke to the Irish Embassy in Israel this morning, we heard that everybody was being processed and taken from Beersheba prison on buses to Ben Gurion Airport, which is about a 2-hour drive. This information came through the Irish Embassy there from the lieutenant in the prison. Since then, the Department of Foreign Affairs have updated Jim Lane to say that now all of the detainees who are being released will be bused to Istanbul. This seems very, very strange and unlikely to us. It's a long journey. It seems a pointless journey. We're not really sure why this is happening. As I say, it's our last update. In terms of other updates on the Irish passengers, we have heard that, as Shane said, all of them aboard the Challenger were roughed up quite a bit, but most are in fairly good spirits. We were quite concerned for Al-Mahdi Al-Harati, as we know that he has diabetes, and at this stage his wife is fairly sure his medication will have run out. His wife had lost all contact with him 6 days ago now. They have 4 young children, and there was quite a lot of concern there. We were lucky in that we were able to remain in contact with Shane, Finton and Fiacre on Challenger until Saturday night. So we had a little bit more up-to-date contact. We also know that we're fairly sure that Al-Mahdi was on the Turkish ship. Now, we do know that he is okay, he's in relatively good health, but like I say, we're unsure as to where they will be boarding planes and what time they will arrive back in Dublin. When we get that information, we'll be issuing a release immediately. We'll be organising a welcoming committee at the airport and a press conference then with all of those people who we hope will arrive back at the one time.
We also had Issam Ben Ali was in the cells in Ben Gurion with me. I don't know if he has come back yet. No, he was in and the ambassador did get to speak to him.
What's the latest update on the MD car? Do you know where it is, and if it does reach Gaza, when did you arrive?
The last we heard, which was a phone call from the satellite phone yesterday afternoon, was that the MV is quite a bit away from Gaza and expects realistically to arrive on Saturday morning. Obviously, the information will sort of shift and change depending on the many variables that will come into play between where they are now and when they reach Gazan waters.
Any other questions?